All right, Aaron with Golf House Kentucky. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm excited to hear more about your organization. I know we've met before. Very briefly, I got to learn a little bit about the organization, but I want you to tell me all there is to know about the organization and what you guys do, when it was founded, and who you help.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the Kentucky Golf Foundation was founded in 2002, and it's a charitable affiliate with Kentucky Family Golf Organizations. So, we kind of help a lot of different pillars. So, it goes with the military, and then with diversity and inclusion, and then our junior programs as well. The foundation is quite large. There's a lot of different programs that are underneath it, which keeps my day to day very, very busy. But we have programs such as PGA HOPE, Drive, Chip, and Putt, our junior leagues, our junior tour, a lot of different things that we do day to day that kind of helps all the different branches that we deal with, every single day. So it's a lot of fun. But kind of get to work with a lot of different people, all the way from the beginning stages of people playing golf, all the way up to when they're older in life and they're retired and all that. So it's a lot of fun to get to see the different phases of whenever people start playing the game of golf.
And how many people per year does your organization help or put through their program?
Each one is very different, and each program, I would say, is very different. So from, program to program, PGA HOPE for our military started out very small. We only had 3 chapters, and now next year we will grow to 9, and it's all across the state. So, and that's happened in since 2022 was the 3 chapters. We started all the way back in 2019, but we will be growing tremendously. We impacted over 500, close to 600 veterans this year, but each program is very different. So our junior tour has hundreds of kids that play in it, and our drive, chip, and putts have hundreds as well. It's just kind of year to year. It's how it kind of ranges, but each year it is growing, and then nationally it's growing as well. So we're not the only ones that have these programs in our state, so it's a national thing that's going on as well, and we just continue to hope to impact more people as the years go on.
So, this PGA Hope, is the PGA Hope the main organization, and then they have every state has their own chapter, or how does that kind of work within the organization?
Yeah, so PJ Hope is a national program, and each almost every section has a program. So when we say chapters, we have 2 in Louisville, well, kind of in the Shelbyville area. We have 1 in Lexington. We have Florence. We have Fort Knox, Paducah, Frankfurt, all over the place. So when we say chapters, it's really like locations within the state, and other states have, 20 something chapters.
Mm.
So it's a very, very large program that has grown, especially this year. We were able to have the national, like a national, send out, I guess you would say, which in an overnight, so it was sent out, and then overnight, I had received over like 200 emails from veterans saying that they were interested just in one night. And we had wait lists that were for these programs, because only a certain amount can be in each program. It was wait lists galore. So it was great that we got that national recognition. And I think this year was really kind of the breakthrough year that we had for this program. And we're constantly, trying to grow it as much as possible, so we can impact the veterans, as many as we can, pretty much.
Nice. What are your main like fundraising or revenue drivers that help funnel donations into the organization so that you can redeploy them out to the veterans and to the children?
Yeah, we have quite a few fundraisers that we do throughout the year. We kind of spread them out. Our big one would be our Kentucky Golf Foundation auction that we do. It's in August. It goes with our ISCO Industries Youth on Course Pro-Am that we have. So it kind of launches on that day. And this auction goes for 2 weeks. And it's a bunch of different items. This year, we raised about $22,000 in the 2 weeks by giving away prizes, or items such as like golf trips and items for golf, or it doesn't even have to be golf related. Holiday World tickets and PGA Championship tickets and Buffalo Trace tickets. So it was a lot of different items that were auctioned off, which was a lot of fun to see, all that money raised for the foundation. I would say that's our main one. But then we also have our Hope for Heroes that we have in April, and that is strictly hope as well. It started last year. It was our very first year, and kind of a guinea pig year. It wasn't, the most successful that we want it to be, but this year we raised over a little over $7,000, which was awesome to just have in a one-day event. It's a scramble that, is teams composed of veterans and our professionals and some amateurs as well. And then after we raise the money for that, we do a raffle as well. So kind of have some fun things that we do with that. And that's usually in April, and we'll do that again in April as well. And then junior tour throughout the year just kind of raises money. A lot of the times when kids sign up, they give donations as well, which adds up throughout the year, which is great for them. And then Youth on Course Pro-Am, as I had mentioned, with the auction is another one where we raised about $70,000 for that as well. So it's probably our biggest event that we have that raises money for the foundation, which is fantastic because we obviously want to keep growing it as much as possible.
That's it doesn't seem like you do that many fundraising events, but you're able to generate quite a bit of money, which is great. And I'm sure, there's obviously other donations and revenue that come in, probably from some legacy or alumni too, that also helps impact that. What are some examples of some impact that you've had on either some kids or military members that kind of went through the program, or individuals? Any like success stories that would be fun to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the coolest stories that I had heard is from our uh, Youth on Course program that we have. Youth on Course is a national program where kids get to play golf for $5 or less, and so I think it was in April, so it had to have been spring break time in Minnesota, and we had found out that there was 4 kids from Minnesota that instead of going down to Florida, they had to pay for their spring break. And, they didn't want to pay that to go all the way down there. It was a long trip. So they decided to drive to Kentucky because they thought it would be cool to spend their spring break using their Youth on Course card that they had to go play a bunch of different golf courses in the state. So they got to play, I believe, about 10 courses for $5 or less
Wow.
throughout their whole entire week. And I had talked to them, and it was just such a cool story to hear that I was like, not only is it impacting, the people in our state that they get to go, play their regular courses they do, week to week for the short, the smaller amount of money, but, you know, people are coming from different states as well. And I'm sure they're just one story of thousands of stories of people doing that and utilizing the Youth on Course card that they have and getting to see some unique courses that they probably wouldn't be able to see very often, in a spring break, which I think is pretty dang cool,
That
to
is,
say that, we got some kids from there. So,
yeah, that is very cool. So if you have a Youth on Course card,
mhm.
did they have it from a Minnesota chapter?
So the Youth on Course is different than Hope. So they don't necessarily have a chapter. So they, whenever, wherever you live, you can be qualified for a Youth on Course card. Um, it depends on which state, how much that costs. Ours is very small amount that you pay in Kentucky, but once you have that card, you are able to go to any course in the nation and you can play for $5 or less.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a pretty cool program that they have for kids. It's just trying to get them involved more just because
Yeah.
golf is a very expensive sport. And whenever it comes to kids trying to get them involved, it's hard sometimes when you don't want those hindrances and, in the way. So, making it affordable for them is awesome.
What are the like age restrictions on that type of
It's
card or
18
program?
and under.
Oh, 18 and under. That's still really good.
Oh, yeah. And,
I
and we're
was thinking
hoping.
like at the 12-year-old
Oh, yeah,
cutoff,
no.
I'm like, there goes, one of my kids.
Yeah, no, it's 18 and under. And it's awesome because, well, and also they're trying to, create some like sort of like quote graduate program to see if we could get older kids as well. But as of right now, yeah, that's the age.
Nice.
Yeah.
And my son plays travel hockey, and I thought that was expensive, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think golf is maybe a little bit more. And it's funny, it's like you just buy a
Yes.
pair, a set of clubs, and I don't think they're at the age yet where they have to, replace clubs regularly.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. No, it's very, very pricey. I grew up playing golf, so it was, I kind of underestimated it a little bit until I got older and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is really expensive. Thank you, mom and dad."
They're
So,
like, yeah, you'll pay back your kids one day.
exactly, exactly.
Um, so as far as the organization has, well, here we'll kind of go back to we'll just kind of reset real quick.
Yeah.
So you played high school
Mhm.
golf. What after college? You didn't play golf in college, but after college, is this kind of your first job or career outside of college that kind of got you back into the golf world?
Yes, absolutely. Like you said, I played, high school golf and absolutely loved it. And then I think I just hit that point that, I needed to take a step back from it. And it took about a year for me to realize that I do still want to be involved with it. And when I became an intern here in 2019, I really found that I loved being on the, you know, business side of it a little bit more. And whenever the opportunity came my way in 2021, or I guess 2022, that's whenever I realized that this is where my passion is and this is where I, want to see the growth of the game. So I really embraced the foundation the most, I would say, because I knew what it was like growing up as a kid and, wanting to be a part of it all. And, you know, player development is probably one of the biggest parts of the foundation. And I think being able to grow it and share it with other kids and other, just people in general, I think, sharing the awareness of golf and how much people can enjoy it just in general is huge. And I think we get to do that day in and day out with all of the, different programs that we do. And it ranges from little kids that start at 5 to people who, are 85.
Hmm.
And I think what I love the most is getting to see that range, like I had mentioned earlier. And it's so fun to see the different perspectives of everyone else of how they, love the game.
What was your major in college?
My major was sports management and then I minored in marketing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, for other, young people that are like currently in college and they're thinking about it, like you got into this organization as an intern.
Mhm.
What is it that kind of kept you there instead of going out to like the business world and kind of I'm sure you're still utilizing your degree because even nonprofits need marketing and business development. They need everything, right? They need to run exactly like a normal for-profit business to be able to
Mhm.
survive. But what is it for you, that kind of drives you to the nonprofit world, and what do you get out of it?
I think whenever I was an intern, I think what started it all was I really enjoyed being with the juniors and seeing their love for it, and kind of like it replicated what I felt. And then feel like now that I've gotten into it more, I mine's more the awareness of it all, because I do see like how I grew up, might not be the same as somebody else who doesn't really realize how golf can kind of help them. And I want people to know that it's not limited as well. Like that's how Youth on Course helps people, and no limitations. So I think I enjoyed that side more a little bit now that I've gotten older. But I also enjoy, getting to be with these people all of the time as well. So I feel like that's kind of a unique situation whenever you're in the business industry, you're not with these people all of the time. And, at all the events we do throughout the year, I get to build these relationships with these people. And it's more on a personal level that I get to know them, and and just meet them and hear their story and all of that. And I feel like in other jobs, you might not get that as much. And I think that's what really drives me now, is that it's more of a passion that I have, that I know these people's stories and I want to help them and everything. And that's not, it's more personal. It's more on personal level.
Yeah, and I feel that, you know, when you're working for a business,
Mhm.
you don't have that, like, I think instant gratification that you get when you like see that you're helping somebody and you can see them in front of you, and the joy that they get from just the impact that you're able to do, whether it's providing a $5 green fee for some kid to be able to play golf at a course that he wouldn't otherwise get to play. So, I think that's kind of the great thing about working, with and for nonprofits, is being able to see the direct impact of where you're able to contribute and really help somebody. And you can see that it changes their life in some way, shape, or form. And I think it's a little bit different than in, working for a business or the for-profit world, where you don't really get that. You don't know how it's, yeah, maybe your customer is happy that you have this product, and you're able to serve their needs, but
Mhm.
they're not in front of you, and you're not, receiving the letters and the love of being like, oh, thank you so much. And I'm sure you probably get a ton of hugs, and everything else, for all the help you do.
Yeah. Well, and absolutely. I mean, like you had said, I've heard so many people come up to me and say, thank you so much for everything that you do. Like, with the juniors, they're like, my kid, wants to keep doing this and has such a passion for it. And it's because you all put on these events. And then I hear from veterans, they're like, you know, this program saved my life. And because of you and helping me, realize that this program was a thing and all of this. And I hear so much gratitude. And I'm like, I don't do I feel like I could do even more. And I think
Mhm.
that, like you said, it just means so much more to me, that I'm very much a personal person, and I love to have, those connections with those people, and hearing those kinds of stories is just it makes the job that much better.
That's amazing. So, how would somebody that is looking to get involved, like how would they reach out? How would they find you? What are the ways that they can help contribute to what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different avenues. Obviously, social media is huge. So we're trying to navigate you know, how ours so Golf House Kentucky alone is a very big organization. The foundation falls underneath that, so sometimes it can get a little confusing. But just reaching out to me directly via email. Our website has everything about the foundation as well. And on our website, it has my contact info, but it not only talks about the foundation as a whole, but it goes through all of the programs as well. So you can learn a little bit more about them. And then obviously calling anytime. I'm happy to talk to anybody about it. I could talk for a long, long time about it. But those would mainly, I would say, be the best ways of contact. And then we do a lot of promotion of our events too. So if anyone is interested in any of our events, I will more than likely be there in person as well. So, but yeah, that's probably the best way.
Nice. And this is, just so everybody knows, this isn't just for Kentucky. This could be for anybody across the United States. But definitely if you live in Kentucky, Aaron will most likely be at one of the next events that hopefully
Yes.
you'll attend. And as far as the one program that you guys offer that's kind of like that introductory to the organization, or for veterans or for kids, like what is the most popular one that you guys offer?
Kind of depends, I would say. So if you're, really on the beginning starting level and you're younger and under the age of 18, I would probably start with our drive, chip, and putts. We love drive. It's one of my favorite programs I work with, because when you talk about the very beginning stages, it's not 9 holes, it's not even 6 holes, not even 3 holes. It is a very beginner stage. So
Yeah.
it's just going out to the different stations, and if you do well enough, you have the chance to go all the way to Augusta National. So it's a very cool opportunity that they offer, and by far one of my favorites. Another one to kind of get into would be our junior tour, our Kentucky PGA Junior Tour. We offer a wide variety of events. We have all the way down to, one-day events in your area. I believe we're going to have 15 one-day events just in
Oh,
the
wow.
summer. And then I believe we'll have 17 two-day events. So we're going to have a lot of opportunity for anybody at any level. And I would say that would be probably the best way to get into, junior wise. But PGA Hope is all levels. You can be, never even have a club. If you don't have a club, they have them for you. So, very beginner level, or you could be so experienced and just want some help from PGA professionals as well. They deal with all different kinds of levels. And I would say, that's probably my favorite program that I deal with, day to day, because I just see the impact that it has. And I would highly suggest to anybody, if you're a veteran or active military, to be a part of this program, because it changes people's lives.
That's great. What type of, or where do you promote or market to the veterans?
Mhm.
What's your number one go-to to try to recruit them in?
So we originally were like, oh, we'll do it on social media and all that. It doesn't quite work as well if you have junior tour players versus veterans. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
So word of mouth is probably our best way that we do it. I obviously send out emails and things like that. And whenever you're in the program, that's the best way we do it. But to get the word out, we try and do word of mouth as much as possible. And we're connected with the VA as well. And so they are constantly sending out things through the VA. And we have a brand new VA hospital coming up, which is massive. So we're very, very excited about that. And so hopefully with the VA hospital coming up, we'll be able to even grow the programs even more. But I would say word of mouth with veterans is our most successful way. And we constantly do ask people, like, how did you hear about us? Like, how did you know? And word of mouth is probably the biggest, and then VA would be second, and then probably social media, just like how our typical stuff is. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, I would say it's very successful. Just talking to people.
We had the Veterans Legal Foundation on a couple weeks ago, and
Mhm.
it's just amazing how kind of our veterans get kind of left behind.
Mhm.
And the Veterans Legal Fund, not Foundation, sorry.
Mhm.
And how they just get left behind, and they just, by a lot, and people in government, people, in the medical field, who knows what it is, but it just feels like anything that we can do to help support them. It's like
Oh, yes.
they put their life on the line for us. We could do a little bit for them. And I think it's great that you guys provide these services to the veterans. It's wonderful. So,
Yeah, no, we try and go out to our clinics as much as possible. Obviously, work gets busy, but just going to see them and seeing the impact that it has, and it's obviously golf is golf. You're gonna learn about it, and that's great. But it's more the camaraderie, and a lot of the times that people say, that was a great golf lesson, but I just liked being surrounded by the people that actually get it. And, some a lot of people will say, like, oh, my wife and the kids, like, they don't quite understand, but my buddy in PGA HOPE, he understands.
mm,
So I think it's really cool to see, the groups that they have formed. These are people that if they walked across the street, they would have no idea who they are until they got into PGA HOPE, and now it's like their best friend. So it's really cool to see, and we offer tournaments for these veterans, and it's funny whenever you get all their requests in, they're like, I want to be with this person, this person, and this person. I'm like, you had no idea who they were like 2 months ago,
yeah.
and now they're
That's
like
great.
buddies. So it's
Yeah.
really cool to see how it has impacted all of them.
That's amazing. Well, it sounds like you guys are doing really great work. Aaron, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on with us today. It was great to get to know more about Golf House Kentucky. I'm really interested in youth on course.
Yes.
I'm going to see what there is here in Illinois and Chicago.
Yes, absolutely.
Hopefully there's something up here for my kids to kind of get involved in. That would be great. And if we're ever driving through Kentucky, we're going to stop and hopefully they get a card that we can play some courses down there.
Yes, absolutely. They're welcome anytime.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.